Hey guys, it's Ruben, and we got a question today about WordPress. And I am a huge fan of WordPress. I've been on WordPress since, I don't know, it seems like maybe 15 years now, since one of the very, very early editions of WordPress. It has evolved so much in the last over a decade. I mean, it's come such a long way. And I think that WordPress I think it's really one of the best pieces of software on the internet because it's so flexible, it's so scalable, it's so modular. You can use WordPress for so many different types of things. You can use WordPress to create a blog. You can use WordPress for e-commerce. You can do it for a portfolio site. You can do it for an app site. You can do it for a video repository of some sort. A lot of people actually use WordPress to kind of start an online business because any online venture, any online business or a website, it can start with a simple type of technology. And WordPress is that technology where you can kind of use it in a very flexible way so that you can get started. Now, the criticisms of WordPress are that it's a little clunky, it's a little heavy. There's a lot of software that comes with it. When you install WordPress, there's a lot that comes along with that. It's also an entirely open source framework. So what that means really is that most of the plugins are free or open sourced, which means they might not be as professional as you might want. They might not be as tested as you want them to be. And as a result, you have to deal with certain issues. You got to deal with bugs. You got to deal with updates and iterations. You have to deal with a lot of that type of stuff. So that just kind of comes with the territory. I don't think it should be anything that people are afraid of. I think that, in fact, we should lean into it because when a system is as powerful as WordPress, it's not going to be perfect. But if we can be patient and if we can figure out what the best kind of application for ourselves is, then I think we can get the most value out of it. So what a lot of people do not realize is that you can actually use Dubb to embed videos onto WordPress pages. And it's not just pages, in fact, it's pages, posts, and also portfolio items. So the way to do it is pretty easy. What you have to do is you got to get the embed code. And then once you get the embed code, you paste that embed code into wherever you'd like for it to go onto WordPress. Now, there's a couple of caveats. So caveat number one is that WordPress has a lot of different types of editors. There's the new native editor, which I think is pretty simple. I think it's pretty good. And then there's a number of third-party builders that have existed and been created over the last probably 10 plus years, like Live Fusion. Gutenberg is the new native WordPress editor. So the thing that you have to be a little bit comfortable with is actually using the native editor. The native editor is going to allow you to place modules. Within those modules, it's really important to place the code. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump into a screen share here. If there's anyone, I see there's a number of viewers in this. If you do have any questions, just throw them in the comments. I'm going to do the best job that I can to kind of field those questions, to answer them. If you have specific use cases, specific instances of WordPress, there are a lot of different versions. One of the challenges with WordPress is that you have to keep it updated. And when you keep your WordPress updated, one of the things that happens is that you break things. So you are updating the instance of WordPress, and then potentially in that process, you're breaking another plugin. And really what that means is that you're playing a long game of whack-a-mole. So if you guys don't know what the game whack-a-mole is, whack-a-mole, like the animal, a mole, it's basically a little game where at the arcade, many of you guys might remember this, where the little mole comes out and then you whack the mole, it goes down, and then another mole pops out. And then you whack that one, and then that one goes in, and then another one pops out. And that is how I would like to describe WordPress updating, because when you update it, in order to get the patches, in order to get the fixes, you also break a lot of things. So that's another thing that's worth noting. A lot of people don't know this because we haven't marketed this, but Dubb actually has a WordPress plugin. And I've been kind of gauging to see where the demand is on WordPress embedding. I'm just now seeing it. So if you do want to have the Dubb WordPress plugin go live, please just put a comment below and let me know. And that way I can kind of gauge demand for this and then figure out if that's something that we should allocate resources, time, and money into. So we're game to do it. I use it personally. We have it in sort of a private beta. But if you do want the Dubb WordPress plugin, throw comments below, give it a like, show some love, and that will kind of show demand. So without further ado, let's just jump into a screen share here, and then I'm going to see if I can get this done in live. So here we go. So hopefully you guys are seeing my screen here. It seems like you guys are. I'm just verifying that on my first monitor here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a video that's not terribly embarrassing that I've done. And this one's pretty cool. So this is actually our buddy over at Vlogeasy. Melvin, I know that I think I saw that you liked this video, and I think you're a fan of this app, Vlogeasy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I can embed this video right here with the founder of Vlogeasy. And then I'm going to, again, show how I can embed this onto a WordPress page. So once again, if you are watching this either live or in a replay, go ahead and leave comments below, give it a like, give it some love, give it a share if that's relevant. And, we can kind of gauge demand and then, of course, get those questions answered as soon as humanly possible. So how to embed a video from Dubb into WordPress. Here we go. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to share, click on the share and send video button rather on your video page. And then you're going to want to go on to the embed tab. Now, when you're on the embed tab, this is going to give you some code right here. Okay. This is really important. So please pay attention to this. Okay. The first thing is that there's a switch here to disable your CTAs. And the reason why you might do that is because if you're like me, you have a form or you have a button or you have some sort of a funnel already on the page. Typically what we do is we either have forms or buttons on our pages, okay? And that's really what we want folks to do as kind of a second step. So if that is the case, it's very irrelevant for you to have call to actions on your video. It doesn't make any sense. You should just disable those, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is that autoplay is a hit or miss situation. Sometimes autoplay works, sometimes it does not work, okay? I'll tell you where autoplay does work. Autoplay does work some of the time on desktop in a Chrome environment when the user's settings allow autoplay videos to occur. Now, that's not always the case. It's only sometimes the case. On mobile, it pretty much always does not work, okay? Autoplay does not work on mobile. At least I have not seen it, okay? What I actually am not a fan of autoplay. The reason why we put autoplay is because people kept asking for it. And they said, well, we really want to have it. We love it. If someone clicks on a thumbnail image and it looks like a video and it plays, well, then they should go and they should play that into the video landing page. Well, and then we said, look, the reality is that, okay, fine, it might play, it might not play, but oftentimes the sound is off. So the kind of workaround that we came up with is that sometimes it auto plays, but mostly all the time the sound is off. So if you guys have noticed this, there's a little graphic at the top that says replay with sound on. And that was sort of our semi-intelligent way to kind of provide a video that auto plays some of the time without audio, and then allow the user, the end user, the viewer, to click on a button to replay the video with sound. Okay, and that's just an opt-in situation. So it seems like we haven't gotten any complaints on that. It seems like the verdict is that that's a pretty good solution for us. So use autoplay wisely. For this exercise, I'm actually going to shut it off. So I practice what I preach. Before I do that, I have to mention that there is a turned sound off on autoplay. And what that does really is that it just forces the sound to go off. That way there's just no confusion whatsoever. So if you are going to use autoplay, I actually recommend that you turn sound off on autoplay. And if you're not going to use autoplay, then that's cool and also highly recommended. So for this exercise, we are not going to use autoplay because it's more predictable, okay? So here we have the embed code, this very cryptic looking code that is really the pipes behind the embed situation, okay? So once you've copied this, then you're gonna wanna go to in this case, I'm gonna go to a post, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to one of our existing posts here, and then I'm gonna show you where in this editor, I'm gonna go ahead and embed the video. Now, as I mentioned before, in case you guys are just tuning in for the first time, please note that WordPress has dozens of different types of editors. So the one that I'm gonna be using right here is Fusion Builder, okay? There's also a default editor, which I think is the Gutenberg native WordPress editor, okay? So you have to kind of figure out where you add modules on different editors. This is really important to note, okay? I just got a comment here, so I'm just gonna pop over here. We have Orlando. What's up, Orlando Outlaw Jr.? Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully this video is valuable. If you wanna leave a comment below on what editor you use in WordPress, I can kind of speak to that specifically. If you have any successes or failures embedding videos onto your WordPress pages, posts, or portfolio items, very curious to hear about that as well. So in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create an element, okay? I'm gonna add an element here, okay? And then I'm gonna go to a code block, okay? In this code block, what I can do is I can paste the Dubb code in here, okay? Now I gotta do another stop here, and I gotta show that on Dubb, there are another couple of features that you can do, and that is specifically the custom size. So sometimes you're gonna notice that you want a specific width on your video. Maybe it's fully mobile first, mobile optimized. You want it to be 290 pixels wide or 300 pixels wide. In this case, you can force the width of that video. Now, our responsive code it's pretty intelligent actually. So as you crunch the page, it's going to essentially change the width of the editor. Now, Orlando, I noticed you mentioned that you have the classic editor, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and do another demo using the classic editor because I have that actually on our WordPress instance. So going back to the embed page, I want you to paste that embed code here. In this case, once again, I am using the responsive option. I'm going to save that, okay? And then there's my code block. Now, here's another caveat. Some of you guys are going to be tempted to use the text insert, okay? And that the text block, as it's called here, okay? This text block, it's not gonna be bulletproof, okay? If you are gonna do this for some reason, then I want you to try in the text option. But quite frankly, oftentimes the text option is also gonna strip the HTML code. So I actually don't recommend using a text block or the text editor. I recommend using a code block specifically. And the reason why you want to use a code block is because it's not going to delete, augment, change, damage the HTML code. So let's cancel out of that. So here we have our code block. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this. Now this is a little bizarre because I'm updating a live page on our blog. So I have to go and remember to delete this. Hopefully no one looks at this page within the next minute or so and says, well, what is this embedded video here? So once we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Let's wait till it loads. In another video in the future, I'm going to do how to optimize your WordPress instance because there's just a whole world of things that you can do to optimize WordPress, whether it's on cache or whether it's on image loading or whether it's on plugin optimization to determine which plugins are not being used, which ones you can remove. If anyone would like a future video on how to optimize your entire WordPress, go ahead and throw a comment, throw a like below, and I'd love to host that video. Another thing is SEO, how to optimize your SEO. So I can touch upon that in a future video, or I can kind of do an entirely different video on that. There's some great tools. A lot of them are free on how to optimize the SEO of your WordPress site. Highly recommended. So let's take a peek at this. So now we're on the video page. And of course, here we have this is our YouTube embedded video, which is great. Quick shout out to Darius who hosted this video. This was a really good video marketing for real estate and lending. It's really beyond that though. It covers how to use video for sales and getting bookings and really building trust, engaging with folks, getting more email opens, email replies, more revenue. So this is a really good video. I recall I was actually on this video. Very good. Shout out to Darius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this, and then voila, we've got the Dubb embedded video right here on this page. So once again, this is the founder of LogEasy. Melvin, in case you watch this, I think you know this cat here. I think you're a user of LogEasy. Throw him a comment, throw him a mention down below. We had a chance to meet actually recently at a conference. So he'd love to get that shout out. We're actually talking about, you heard it here first, we're talking about some sort of an integration, so stay tuned for that. But here we have this great video. So it's going to play, in this case, as you guys might recall, I disabled calls to action on this video. So we're not going to have a button that appears here. Now, if I did not do that, then of course I'd have a button here. And once again, the reason why I do not want a call to action here is because chances are I have a call to action below somewhere on this page. In this case, I do. Get a free trial to Dubb. So I hope that answers the question on how to embed a video. If there's any specific questions, I want to answer those. Orlando, I have not forgotten about you. If you're still here, just go ahead and throw a comment, throw a like. I'm going to actually delete that embedded section here. I'm going to click the trash icon. That's how you delete that. I'm now going to click on the default editor. Okay. And now, of course, we have all the WordPress slugs. Okay. In this case, what I can do is I can scroll to the bottom and I can just paste the code right there. Now, this is a little, as you guys can tell, this is a lot of code here. So this is going to intimidate some folks. I don't know if I could recommend doing this. You know, I sort of have learned how to build these slugs out and like build a fusion text section and a column and a row and a container. I've kind of learned how to do that over the years, but I don't really recommend it because if you make one mistake in this, you're going to break the whole entire page. But Orlando, just for you, this is how you do it. If you are just doing raw code. So what you do there is you just paste that code there. And let's go ahead and update this. Click the update button. Wait till that page loads. And then, of course, it's going to appear in a similar fashion. Now, please note that when you are using native WordPress slugs, please remember this, is that if you do make mistakes on the opening tags and on the ending tags, it is going to destroy the page. So they use straight brackets, forward slashes, backslashes to open and close those slugs. And if you do make a mistake on those, it is going to mess you up. So please note that. I also recommend that if you are doing a mobile, if you are optimizing for mobile, which we all need to be doing, always test your pages on a mobile device. So just send yourself the link. If you use Slack, if you have email, whatever it is, just shoot yourself that link and test it out, you know, on your mobile browsers. Do it on Chrome, do it on Safari, do it on a couple different ones, do it on devices, do it in portrait, do it in landscape. And that's just going to show you what the end user is seeing on their mobile devices. Because if you have a situation where the video extends over the mobile screen, it's not going to be a good user experience. You're probably not going to get a lot of plays on it. Dubb, in case you guys don't know, Dubb also has a pretty intelligent algorithmic determination of what device and what your internet speed is on. So if someone comes in on a mobile device, then the video is going to stream at a lower resolution because they don't need to see a 1080p high resolution video on a small mobile screen. They're probably going to see a 360 or a 720 depending on their speed. So we have Carrie Gray with us. Now, Carrie, I wanted to kind of bring you into this if you're okay with that. You know, you actually catalyzed this support call here. So I want to make sure I'm really servicing your needs if you're okay with that. And I do want to go ahead and show the final preview of this here. So I'm just going to go ahead and reload this page. And then what that's going to do is, of course, that's going to show the Dubb video here as it just loads. And that's just going to be the Dubb video on the page. So there it is in all of its glory. Orlando, I really hope that that helped you. I'm going to probably wrap up the video here. I'm going to see if Carrie needs some support. She has kind of a specific question on some frame removal and some frame optimization. So I'm going to have her join. And Carrie, if you can just give me a thumbs up if you'd like to join this. And then we'll pull you in. Otherwise, you and I can kind of schedule a future session. Hi, Carrie. All right, Carrie, can you hear me? All right, so guys, I'm going to wrap this video up right now, right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do another video. I mentioned there's 2 videos that we're going to do. We're going to do SEO optimization and then just an overall WordPress optimization. So those are going to be future videos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually call Carrie directly because it was she actually that initiated this. And I want to make sure I'm servicing her and her needs. She had a specific frame issue. So I'm going to cut off right now, guys. Thanks so much for checking this video out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are part of our affiliate program, we recommend that you share videos like this. If you are not yet a member of that, earn.dubb.com, check it out. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.